So, you're thinking about a career in India's civil services. That's a huge and amazing goal. Today, we're going to map out that entire journey for you. Think of this as your personal guide, your first step on a really incredible path.
You've got that dream, right? That desire to serve the country. But then you look at what it takes to get there and, yeah, it's a mountain. It can feel totally overwhelming, and it's easy to just get stuck wondering, where on earth do I even begin? Well, that's exactly what we're going to figure out today. We're going to break it all down, piece by piece.
And just like any big journey, the very first thing you got to do is understand the rules of the road. So, let's get you familiar with the basic structure of the Civil Services Examination. You'll hear it called the CSE.
Okay, so think of the whole thing as a three-level game. Each level tests something different. You start with level 1, the Prelims. This is all multiple-choice questions designed to see how broad your knowledge is. If you clear that, you unlock level 2, the Mains. This is totally different. It's all about writing long, descriptive answers. They want to see how deep your understanding is, how well you can build an argument. And if you conquer the Mains, you get to the final boss, the interview. This is a personality test, basically, to see if you've got the right temperament and character for the job.
So, who can actually play this game? Well, for the general category, the basic checklist is pretty straightforward. You need a bachelor's degree from pretty much any recognized university. You've got to be between 21 and 32 years old, and you get 6 shots at it, 6 attempts. Now, this is super important. For reserved categories, there are relaxations for age and the number of attempts. So your number one most important document every year is the official UPSC notification. You have to check that for your specific details.
All right, so you've looked at the rules. You've confirmed you're eligible. Great. The next step is actually getting to the starting line. Let's quickly walk through how you officially sign up.
And here's a big update you need to know about. UPSC has rolled out a new modernized system. It's a one-time registration portal. And listen, this is key. Even if you've applied in previous years, it doesn't matter. You have to create a fresh registration on this new portal. Everybody starts from square one here at upsonline.nic.in.
The new process is actually broken down into 4 pretty simple steps. First, you just create your account. Easy enough. Then you fill in some universal info about yourself, stuff that won't change. After that, you complete what's called a common application form, which is handy because it saves your info for other exams you might take. And then the final step is filling out the actual form for the civil services exam for that year. It's a bit of a setup the first time, but it makes applying in the future way easier.
So what's it cost to apply? It's just 100 rupees for male candidates from the general, EWS, or OBC categories. And this is great. All female candidates, plus anyone from the SC, ST, or persons with benchmark disability categories. You don't have to pay any fee at all. It's completely exempt. To make the whole application process go smoothly, just have these few things ready beforehand. You're going to need a scanned copy of a recent photo and your signature. Make sure you check the size requirements. You'll also need a valid photo ID number. Honestly, Aadhaar is probably your best bet. And finally, if you're applying under a specific category, make sure you have your certificates ready to go. Okay, now we're getting to the real heart of this explainer, the strategy. How in the world do you tackle a syllabus this massive? You don't do it by just randomly picking up books. You do it by following a map. And we've got one for you right here, a 15-month plan built from the ground up for a beginner. I know, looking at a 15-month calendar can feel intense. So we're not going to do that. We're not looking at it as one giant, scary block of time. Instead, we're breaking it down into 6 separate, totally manageable phases. Each phase has its own clear goal, and together they'll take you all the way from day 1 to being ready for that final interview. Let's pull up the map. So here it is, your entire journey at a glance. We start with a quick phase 0, just getting your desk and your mind organized. Then, for the first 3 months, phase 1, it's all about one thing: building a rock-solid foundation with the NCERT school textbooks. In phase 2, you level up to the standard, more advanced books, and, this is huge, you start practicing how to write answers. Phase 3 is when you start testing yourself against the real deal using previous year's questions. Then you hit phase 4, an all-out sprint for the prelims. After that, you get about 100 days for a deep dive into mains prep, and finally, you shift gears to get ready for the interview.
Now, let's pause here because we need to talk about something in the prelims called CSAT. This thing is a classic trap. On paper, it's just a qualifying paper. You only need to get 33%. Sounds easy, right? But here's the catch, and it has knocked out so many brilliant people. If you fail to get that 33% in CSAT, they won't even bother to look at your main general studies paper. Your whole attempt is over right there. It is the ultimate gatekeeper. Do not ignore.
So that's the big 15-month map. But look, any long journey is really just a bunch of small steps taken every single day. Success is built in the daily routine. So how should you actually structure your day to make it effective, but also, sustainable?
So what does a good, balanced day of prep look like? Well, here's a template that just works. The biggest slice of your study pie, about 40%, should go to one of your main general study subjects, like history or polity. Then, give about 20% each to two other crucial areas, keeping up with current affairs and studying your optional subject. The last 20% you'll split between practicing skills like answer writing or CSAT and, this part is non-negotiable, daily revision of what you've already learned.
All right, for our final section, let's talk about the things that really separate the people who clear this exam from those who don't. Because it's not just about how many hours you put in, it's about studying smart. And that all comes down to building a few powerful, high-impact habits.
If you only remember one single thing from this entire guide, please let it be this. Previous year questions, or PYQs, are not just for practice at the end. They are your best teacher. They are your guide. They show you what UPSC actually cares about, the patterns they use, the kind of thinking they expect. Analyzing them is like finding a treasure map. They are pure gold.
And here are a few more game-changing habits. First, fight the urge to collect a library of books. Pick a few good sources and revise them over and over and over again. Keep one single, dedicated notebook for each subject just for your revision notes. And create another notebook, a mistake log, where you write down every error you make in a test and why you made it. Always practice writing answers with a timer and take mock tests regularly and seriously. This is how you build real skill, not just knowledge.
So there you have it. The rules of the game, how to apply, a 15-month roadmap, and the daily habits that lead to success. Look, the path is definitely challenging, there's no doubt about it. But it is clear, and it is absolutely doable. The map is officially in your hands now, so the only question that's left is, are you ready to start the journey?